coming down into Marietta. Just look at the rain here. It's just pouring. Look at the sides of the road. I'm having to go slow and watch so I don't hit some big pool of water. I'm heading to Antique Mall. Go look around. Oh, that's kind of a nice do. How much is that? 199 bucks. It's, you know, neon. That's cool. I'm in the Antique Mall of Marietta now. What's that? Hamilton Milk Company, 20 bucks. That's a really nice milk, isn't it? That's beautiful. That's nice for all it is. Look at that up there. Standard. That's crazy. Look at that Atlas. There's some cool stuff here. See, this is a cool booth right here. Look at the. You see, 199 bucks. If I dug that, I wouldn't want to sell it for that. That's awesome. It's nice condition. Look at this. This Greensboro, 249 bucks. Look at all these. That's beautiful there. It's got a little lip chick, but that's nice. Rupert, Greensboro. See, there's another one up there. There's some cool stuff in this mall, and it's affordably priced. Look at this. I like those. They're salt and pepper shakers. I really like these. They're 20 bucks. But these are nice. Look, good buck on them. These are nice. Man, I like these. I might have to think about making a purchase on them for the video. These are so cool. Look, it's vendor 1596 here. I don't know if this is all the same, but look at all this cool stuff. They got tobacco tins, tons of them. Looks like stuff all in there. But look at all this stuff. Buzz Aldrin, this is like G.I. Joe. This is a modern G.I. Joe, but it's still 25 years old. Wonder how much that is. That's pretty awesome. $25. 1999 G.I. Joe. NASA astronaut here, and it's $20. See, here's some action figures. Here's some old little toys and little planes and and a celluloid baby. These little airplanes are awesome. $6. I might get these. These little plastic toys are very cool. Ken Griffey Sr. and Don Mattingly, $3 each. Here's some cars. It looks like Tootsies and what the heck's that? Thundercats, $5. Thundercats, them are pretty cool looking figures. $5 each. $18. Fat Boy Razor. Find them in the dump all the time. Look here. Find these little things in the dump. Right there it is. And look, with the cap. $7. There's one. I should probably buy that. I find them all the time, these same little things. Right there it is, Cleveland Ohio, and it's probably the same stuff. There's a Sanford Zinc with a label. Man, that's cool. It looks like it's from about 1930 or 40. That's kind of nice. $8. It's black glass too with the lid. That's kind of cool. And what's this? Jet oil. Bixby. And you see, find these bottles all the time. That's what it is. Shoe polish. I thought these were inks. Right there's what it is. Bixby jet oil. These are great clips for a bottle digger seeing this stuff. And here's one of these little green ones. I find these boric acid powder. There's Dunes pills. That's kind of cool. $6. It's a little tin. That's actually really nice. Might have to think about getting that. And look, here's the Phillips tablets. I find these little blue bottles all the time, and the tablets are still in it. Right there. This is cool stuff, isn't it? Wow. Wow. Very cool. It's cool to be able to show that. See, there's a witch hazel bottle, and I find these a lot too. I'll get back if I get anything. Well, these are $5. This person has really good taste in selling little collectible things. Look at these, and there's another one in there that's blue. They're little like rubber plastic Gerber baby cups. Looks like they're from the 50s probably. And there's some bottles, look. Raggedy Ann and Andy, $7. These are kind of cool. The graphics, I like that red and yellow. That's cool looking. Hills Brothers coffee's kind of cool. I don't really see anything else here that catches my eye. It's pouring the rain down here. Might as well stay in here. That's looking pretty cool. Soup. Manoon soup. My friends are friends. That's very cool. Wonder how much that is. $15. That's a nice tin. That's real nice. Huh? I don't really see much. I might have to think about getting that. Now look at some of this stuff here. Central. That's pretty cool, isn't it? $25 on that one. That's pretty nice. These blue ones are kind of nice. Look at this. It's a glass with a metal lid, and it says snuff. Preserves its flavor. The snuff is a very select leaf. $12. And look at this sweet snuff there. That's pretty nice. Wonder how much that is. That's a pretty tin. $20. That's beautiful condition. That's really nice. Wow, huh? That's a nice one. I'm just showing you all the stuff I find interesting. I've never seen one of these that says DRECO, Dreco. See nothing, $6. Dreco laxative, 1940. I've never heard of that. That's pretty cool. Needs cleaned up. It's got like one of the lug tops on it. I've never seen that before. Look at Spock in the back. Wonder how much. I bet you that's $100. Net close 1996. Star Trek 69.75. That's kind of cool. I like Star Trek. Did I turn this on? Look at these weird salt and pepper shakers here. What the heck are these? Dudes doing push-ups. Man, what the heck are these? Souvenir of West Virginia. No wonder. These are older too. What the heck are these? They're women. Like, what the heck are they doing? West Virginia. These are $14.75. These are just insane. What the heck is that? I like those kind of. They're so odd. What's that? That's a pipe. $9.75. That's kind of cool, isn't it? See, it's a pipe. They have so much cool stuff in here, huh? I'll get back on more cool stuff. Well, this is nice. It looks older too, and you know they discontinued that, but is it? It might be a repop, and I just don't know enough about stuff. If it was older, like 70s, I'd probably buy that for $20 because they no longer use that native And I love that advertising stuff. Look at these quartz figures. Look at that, like, looks like a dodo bird back here. And look at the bird. Those are cool for $5.75 each. And look back, there's a fossil, and look at, that's a repot, but that little, it says something money bank. That's awesome, and it's cast iron. There's just so much stuff to look at here. I've only got one aisle, and there's all this stuff. Look, the old clock, $65. What the heck's that? I don't know. Something nautical, maybe, I don't know. For measuring the horizon, that's my guess. I don't know. It's just a guess. I have no clue. See if they got any new bottles here. Well, there's still these. I like these bottles. They're like an Art Deco chocolate soldier bottle. Look at them. That one there is real nice condition. They're only like $20. See, that looks like a pretty nice bottle there for $7. What's this? Akron, Ohio, but it's got caseware. It's only $7. I don't know if this is a lighter or what, but it says, what's that say? Something Brewing Detroit. That looks cool, don't it? I don't know if that's a little lighter or what. Well, this place back here in the back always has some nice tins too. Look at some of this stuff, but look at this one, this old cone top. Wilbert's lemon oil for fine polishing. The Wilbert Products Company, New York. Could be cleaned up a little. Look at, for automobiles. That's pretty nice, and it's $34. And you know, that's a good bet for a 10. But that's worth it. Kind of like to have that, but I don't really want to spend $34. I'm trying to look and see if I'll look around. That's one thing I'm considering. That's awful nice. Well, how awesome are these figures? Look at them. They're $40 for all of them. These are pretty cool. Well, that's pretty nice. Lord Calvert, Canadian, $20, I think. Yep, that's pretty nice looking. Look at these old clocks up there. Like 125, 135. These are pretty nice looking. Well, they always have lots of, see, there's, I don't know what that, I'll look at some of these. They got better prices back here. Look at this milk. Dairy Products Container Company, Detroit, Michigan, and it just needs cleaned. It's perfect. That's beautiful. The 3 up there is probably 3 cents. $9.75. That's a great price on that. That's, you know, I'd want $25, $30 for that in an eBay store cleaned up. Klaus Snyder, that's a beautiful milk, but it don't have a town name on it anywhere. It's nice. What's this one? Bell Vernon MAPES Dairy Co. It don't have a town, but these are nice milks. There's a scripted one back there that says Newark, Ohio on it. Look at this. It's probably not that much. $18. NMDA, Newark, Ohio. That's old. That's beautiful. Real nice condition. I wouldn't want to sell that for $18 if I dug it. That's a nice milk. See, what's this? Marietta Ohio Dairy Association. That's beautiful. I'll look around. That's just a few things right there. Well, I'm glad I looked around. I wanted some of that other stuff, but this is where I found the last jar of marbles that I bought. Right here, just randomly. And look at this. There's some smokers in here. And there's a master marble right there. Old Vetros, holy crapola. These are nice in the condition. $30 on this jar. And I think this jar is worth maybe getting 2. Let me look. Yeah, there's some decent ones in there. Stuff worth buying and framing up. And I'll get an extra frame and finish the one I got. 30, that'd be $55. I think this is what I'm going with in this store. Wow. See, here's someplace else in the store. Another jar of marbles, and not one of these are old. They're J-Bows. I can just tell immediately. 30 bucks. You gotta be able to spot, you know, them. I don't really think them are worth more than a few bucks. Never seen one of these, none. It's not that old, but it's that 1997 it says established. Must be like a jug of beer. Never seen one of them. Doesn't look like really, they got a good inventory, but just nothing really new since the last time I was here. That's a brownie soda. I don't see no new bottles, but at least I found some marbles. Look at all this stuff. I can hear it, it's just pouring the rain down outside. I can hear it on the roof. Look at these gaudy, like wall hangings, they're kind of cool. Looks like, what is it? 3D fiberglass pair, 180. You can see what they are there. They're kind of cool. It looks real, you know, 60s decoration in the house. Huh. Kind of cool. That's a cool globe. I'd say it's reproduction. Pump light, that's beautiful though. Look at it. That's really nice looking. I love it. Huh? I'll move that crock out of the way. I'll put it back here, but I wanted to show you that. That's beautiful, even though it is a newer item. That'd look nice lighted up in your house, wouldn't it? It's only 129 bucks. I love that. I kind of like that bear holding a Coke bottle like that too. Wonder if that's for honey or something. Regardless, that's cool. It looks rubber. No, it's real hard. That's very cool, I think. Nice enamelware teapot there too. That's beautiful. See it, the blue one. These are like cornucopias. And on the tag it says acro agate, and they're swirled marble glass like. These things are beautiful. The glass, I think they're 29 bucks. Pair, $29.95 or something. These are nice. They're made by Acro. They're nice. That's a nice looking crate. Now that's one heck of an odd looking glass, and that looks old. Look at the base. That's pretty nice. Apollo sound. That looks like some kind of projector from 1930 or something. What the heck? It's not complete, but silent speed Apollo. What the heck? I like stuff like this. I even like that little radio in that leather pouch. Well, there's maybe that's more. Nah, I don't think that's. But look at the old like tubes and stuff. That's just the back of that's just awesome. And there's a CV. There's always cool stuff right here. Look at these. That True Value truck's beautiful. Look at that one. $20 for that. That's so heavy. 19. That's so nice. There's another one. That's real heavy. Look at that with the quality paints on the side. Panel van. That's very cool. 20 bucks. Could have a whole. These are all nice. Huh. Very cool. And look at that. The face of that just is awesome. I just like the looks of the face of it. It's wow. So much cool stuff. Yeah, I saw comics and thought, wow. But this is all age of stuff here. Well, that art's getting bad age, but I wouldn't buy that. See, this is the only comic I see in here. If it was in better condition, I'd definitely buy that. Night of the Vampire, Conan and the Barbarian. It's almost want it now to read it, but it's so beat up. Look at that, ABC Oxblood Wax shoe polish. 15 bucks. That's kind of cool. Well, look at that piece of stained glass there. That's out of a restaurant. I wonder how much that is. I'd be firm on it too. I bet you it's a good bit. $139. That's beautiful. It's a burger. Look at that. It's out of a restaurant for sure, but that's so cool, isn't it? Well, that's a pretty cool scale there. And that's a pretty cool little Beatles, like tobacco card up there. Look at that. Just see, I don't see much else here I'm interested in. There's marbles. Are these old or new? They're almost all new. There's a Marble King. There's one or two old ones in there. Nothing I want. See, look at this. There's one of these old, like, Paris perfumes, and it's brown. $12. Look at all this cool stuff back in here, like just a variety of decor. Look at that walking stick with the fish on it. That's so cool. 32 bucks. That's just awesome, isn't it? There's all kinds of stuff. Look at the bird cage, is cool. Look at that. There's so many cool things back here. Well, this is extremely cool. Look at this. You see General Patton helmet. That's so cool. Look at all this stuff. I'm way in the back. This place is huge. I could look here all day. There's so much stuff I want to buy, but I got so much stuff already. See, there's like a stoneware beer bottle. Sometimes there's ones with letters on them back here. You just gotta look. Yeah, it's pretty nice. 15 bucks. It's in real nice shape. See, they have some bottles and stuff here too. That's an old one. It's nice. There's another one. That's nice. It's like 19 bucks, I think. Beautiful old bottle. An old one too. It's pre-1900 for sure. There's another one. 18 bucks. There's some nice stuff here. Yeah, that's kind of cool, but it's $125. These are old tobacco things, little tin things. There's a few cool ones. I'd pay 50 for it. 120. I think it's 120. But look at that. Somebody might buy it. That's just too much for me. What the heck's that? Bear? It's a bank. Huh. Now look at them crazy glasses. Wonder if them are safety glasses. And that's a hat. Golden purple hat. Vintage safety glasses. I was right. These are crazy looking. They're real crazy looking, huh? There's lots of cool stuff in here. They have lots of new inventory. There's just stuff everywhere. I can't believe I hardly ever find marbles, but I did today. Man, this is extremely cool too. It's a little reel engine with a wood propeller. $47.50. That's so cool. Look at that old. Look at that. World War I German canteen, $47.50. That's super cool, ain't it? Look at it. You know, just look at that, the price and everything. That's nuts. 24 bucks. There's just everywhere I look, there's something to film. Look at these. I find these beers all the time with the labels, sometimes a little. That's a Pittsburgh beer. There's another one with the label. See? There's a Pee-wee in that, and a few swirls, and some Vetro shooters, and they're probably $9.95. But look at that black and white swirl right there, and these are $9.95. These look like Vetro marbles. There, a whole bag of shooters for $15. But I've already, you know, I'm getting them 2 jars. There's more marbles. Look at all these nice crocs up here. There's a Marietta Ohio one, look, 1,200 bucks. I dug a little one that's real beautiful in the dump. See, there's another one, Shinston, West Virginia. And you come look at all the cases of stuff. Look at all this. There's old bottles down there. Look at the manganese glass bottle there. That's beautiful. Big old lock. Look at all this stuff. Pen knives and just everything. Well, this is where I was at, this first part of this video right here. Well, that come to 70 bucks, but I got like $20. The marbles were 50 bucks. I got a $6 Riker mount and a $10 Riker mount. So, man, some of these marbles, look at this black and white swirl. There's a black and like white swirl. There's dandies in here. Let's go look at them. Well, I just came down here. I'm pretty sure right there's the Lafayette. This Riverview Antiques, yep. Completely out of business. It's a good thing I filmed so much stuff there. See, it's over. That place has been there since I've been a little kid, the Riverview building, no more. I have videos here on my channel where I shopped in there and bought all kinds of old bottles, probably 50 times over 3 or 4 years. That stinks, folks. The economy's been rough on places like that, and no more of that. Yeah, I just got home. Look at the glowers. That one right there really, I'll show you. See, there's a helmet with uranium glass. That's uranium glass right there. Yeah, there's more in there. There's one right there that really look at this one. Heck, that looks like a Mooney or something that glows right there. There's all kinds of gold. There's another uranium glass. Oh, folks, these are awesome. Well, I just cracked the top off this. This is the $30 jar. And then we'll go through the $25 jar here. And then we'll put them in these. I got both of these Riker frames. We'll display them. But we'll look at this one first. I'll dump it out here. Well, I dumped these out here. It's a jar full. There's a lot. And I mean, there's so many nice ones. Look at these. Look at this. And there's just, look at how nice the swirl patterns and the conditions just, like say, look at these. That's clear. That's nuts. It's beautiful. Look at this kind of chocolate and brown swirl. There's so many nice marbles here. Let me see. Look at this. Holy mackerel. These are beautiful, aren't they? There's a beautiful bumblebee. Here, it's focusing better. Look at this. That's beautiful. I'm just trying to see here. This is just one frame. Look at all of these beauties. Look at this with like lemonade on it. That's beautiful there. All of them are nice. There's so many nice marbles. Look at this. Some kind of vitro, I would assume. Look at these. Man. I just don't even know what to say. Very unique colored, like conker. That's still got dirt on it. What the heck's that? That's really nice. Look at the swirl pattern on that, and look at the condition. It's just wet mint. That's beautiful. Look at this. These are just, look at the condition. Looks like porcelain. Some of these glow. See, there's like tiger eyes and stuff in here. Vitro agate, that's beautiful. We'll see which ones of them glow. Look at that real weird swirl. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that blue, and that's really nice looking. Wow, look at that. I'd say that's an old Vitro. Whoa, these are just so nice. All of them. All the swirl, look at that. That's super. Well, I'll frame some of these up. We'll see which glows. I'll get the black light. Well, I was just rolling these around. There's so many. Look at this. Look at this thing. It's got like iridescence on it. That's an old Vitro. Look how nice it is. And look here. There's a really cool one. And look here. Here's a master, it looks like. Look at that smoker. That's beautiful. That's nice. It's got, there's just so much here. I'll go get the black light. Wow, didn't even see that. Look at that. Huh. There's, you just see every time you roll them around, you see something you didn't see. That's beautiful. Vitro, I'd say. Go get the black light. All right. I'm in here. See, not many of these ones glow up in here. Few of them a little bit, but down in here, see, all of these ones do. Right through there. That one real orange, that swirl, they're beauties here. Well, that's the first jar. Look how many nice marbles there are, and they're all old. There's no modern ones in there. Here's the second jar. And what, like $55 for all of them, but man, there's just a few. That's awesome. Look at this. So we'll just put them all together here since they're out. You know, there's a few broken ones in this lesser, but say that's awesome. It's very nice. There's so many nice ones. That's an old Vitro. But see all the swirls and stuff, I'll pick them all out and we'll make a real nice frame. Go for condition. Look at this emerald green with a white swirl. That's beautiful. See, look at all these. Look at this. It's like clear base with, that's probably a Vitro, like a conqueror type thing. Look at this. See, that's amazing. There's so many. None of these glow though. Look at this. There's like, I don't know what, if that's a master brush patch, but see, it has like color. That's nice. There, see, just you could look here at these for a while. See, that's beautiful. Look at all these. A pee-wee swirl. That's beautiful. I'd be going nuts if I dug that. And see, look how many more there is. Looks like a alley there. That's really nice. Here's another real unique colored one. Look at that. Look at this. Wow. With that frosting on it with the color. That's nice. There's a purple one that looks like it has green in it. Yeah, purple and green. Look at that. This looks nice, and it is. Look at it. It's just super. There's almost all of them are nice. Here's a clear base swirl with white and blue kind of hue to it. I did pretty good, folks. Look at this, a gray and white and blue swirl. There's a dark one with, that's nice. Look at this. Wow. Kind of a ginger ale base glass. It's a peewee. Look, there's probably a banana cat eye. It's probably master. Look how nice it is. Kind of magnified in there. Nice condition. Look at that. That's nice. Here's another nice one. Looks like a Vetro. Look, and we're not even through all these. There's another real nice one, most likely a Vetro. Look at it. It's so beautiful. I lucked out. Beautiful swirls. Let's see if there's anything else in here real eye-catching. Wow, that's nice. Look at that patch. It's Green Bay Packer colors. Looks like a Vetro. There's more nice ones in here, but I hope you enjoyed this. I'll sort these out and we'll look at this. Wow. And look at this. I'll make a frame. Wow, this is beautiful. Look at it. Oh, thanks. I did good. Look at all of these marbles. Probably fill both them frames, huh? Wow. Look at that. These are all vintage marbles. And just keep, wow, look at that one. Man, that's nice, isn't it? Never really seen, look at the nice, more beautiful swirls. Look at them. Wow. Look at this one. I gotta go. We'll frame all these up. See, man, folks. Man, that's got dirt on it, but that's mint. I like that blue. That's dirt. Well, I'm working on the second frame here. Look at some of these marbles, how beautiful they are, these swirls. You ought to see the first frame. I'll show them both to you here at the end, but I'm looking through the rest of them. Look at some of these swirls. They're so beautiful. I'll have 2 frames for sure. Look at that. Look at this. Very nice. And look at some of these Vetro marbles. Look how beautiful this is. It's some kind of conqueror, but it's like a conqueror and a patch. It's just, there's so many marbles like this. Seeing different ones every few I roll through. See, it's starting to look pretty good, but look at this. That's a corker. See, it goes all the way around. It's real nice. There's multiples of these. Well, got all these left, and they're still just, look at this smoker right here. That's beautiful. There's lots of more, like, I don't know, 15 probably nice ones, but look at the frames, folks. Look at this. These are masterpieces. You know, with the frames, it was like $70. You saw there what I paid in the video. But look at that. Wow, these are eye-appealing. And they look good framed. The condition's nice. Look at this bigger frame. That is a masterpiece, folks. I'm so happy. Look at that. Look at all the nice ones in there. You can just look at it. They look so nice sitting on like a coffee table. You can just look at them. There's so many different manufacturers. There's Acros in here, Masters, Marble Kings, Alleys. I think Ravenswood, Vetro. Look at that. I did pretty good. I'm happy whenever I can find vintage marbles like that. We'll put them in another frame, them other ones. Well, I just got this cleaned up. I had to soak it. It had stuff stuck all to it, but look at that big swirl. It's big. It's slightly over an inch. It was in that. It's the only shooter in there. I love that. Look at that. Man, folks, these are nice marbles. Well, in that same little booth in that same antique mall, like, I don't know, about 6 months ago, bought a jar of marbles there and made this whole frame. Look at these smokers. Now look at, with what I already have, that's a heck of a nice collection of marbles. And 50 today, I think I have about $70 in that collection of marbles right there, and they're all just nice condition. And then, you know, you got to throw in the frame. So, like, say $90. That's pretty nice. Now, look here, folks. I'm back. And Squirrel Man wanted... I'll put the extra two. You see, he wanted to get them all three at once because he loves them so much. This is my pet squirrel. If you're just tuning in for the first time, we call him Squirrel Man. And he loves cherries. It's his new go-to favorite. I went shopping. I'm down there working on the video. I thought I better put him at the end. He's a good boy. He's going to eat his treats, and then hopefully it stops raining so he can go out and run the yard a little bit. I'll see you on the next one. Awesome marbles, huh? Wow. It's an instant collection.